Okay, in this little video, I'm going to talk about musical staffs. So we have 5 lines to create a staff. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and the notes that are marked on the lines, we call them line notes. And in between the lines, we have spaces. And we have 4 spaces between the 5 lines. And when we put notes in those spaces, we call them space notes. Okay, and then we use clef signs to mark higher range notes and lower range notes. And treble clef is used to mark higher range notes. We also call this a G clef. It looks kind of like a G if you just take the outer and the bottom away. Kind of looks like a letter G. And it's usually marked on the staff around the second line. Okay, the second line from the bottom circles around the second line. And this is the treble clef or G clef, and it's used for upper range notes. So on the right side of the keyboard. And we also have something called bass clef, and this is used to mark the lower range notes. Okay, and this one we also call it a F clef. Okay, it kind of looks like a F, letter F, and the 2 little dots are evolved from the short line in the letter F. Okay, and then the line in between the 2 dots, that line is called the F line. Okay, so bass clef for the lower range notes. So on the left side of the keyboard, that's lower notes. All right, so to kind of help you remember the notes quicker on the clefs, I have a little trick that maybe can help you. Okay, the space notes marked for the treble clef or for the treble staff, they are F, A, C, and E. Okay, if you can memorize these 4 notes, and that will help you to figure out the other notes faster. Okay, and it spells as face. Very easy to remember. Okay, so face are the notes that is marked in the treble clef space notes. All right, so from there you can count upwards. Okay, if you're going upwards, it's forward in alphabetical order. So if I know this is F and I want to find a note on this line, so you can go forward in the alphabetical order. After F, we get G. So the note on this line will be G. And after G, we return to the letter A. Okay, in music we don't have H or I or J, so after G, A comes back, and after A is B. So B is on this line, and then after that is C, and then D, and then E. So notice if you're going stepwise, you are alternating between line and spaces, line and spaces. Okay, but if you are going just space or just line, you are actually skipping a letter. Okay? And then for the bass clef, we also have face. But for the bass clef, the F starts below the 5 lines. So the F starts here. A, C, E. Okay? So what's in the top space? Let's figure it out. From E, you can continue up. F is the next letter. That will be on the line. And the G will be the next letter. And that will be in this space. Okay? Or you can think A, C, cow, eats gas. A cow eats grass. Or a car eats gas. Or just little tricks that can help you to remember them. But I think face is easiest for me to memorize. Okay? Or you can remember the line between the 2 dots, it's F. So the note on that line is F. And you can figure out the other notes from that line. So F going up, one step is G. G is in the space. F going down, you will count backwards in alphabet. So F goes down to E, okay, which is here. And then D, backwards, down, C, B, A. And then G comes back, F. Okay, makes sense? So here, for example, if I have a note up here, I can figure it out by counting from our face. Remember the space notes, F, A, C. So the third space is C. And one step up from C is D. So this is the D on this treble clef, okay? And which D is this? This D is actually, here's middle C, okay? So that D is going up to here, this D, okay? Because first space is F, which is the first F above middle C. F, A, C, and one step up. That's the E. That's the D. Okay? So, continuing. So sometimes the 5 lines are not enough for us anymore because there are so many notes or so many keys on the keyboard, and we only have 5 lines for the treble and 5 lines for the bass. So it's not quite enough to cover the entire keyboard. So we have to add lines. Okay, so that means, like for example, we know the first space is F, and we go down one step to E, and then we continue one step down to D, and we're out of space, so we have to add a line, and this line is called a leisure line when you add lines, okay? Leisure line, and we put a note on that added line. So this is C, and which is the middle C in the center of the keyboard, okay? Middle C for treble clef is you're adding a leisure line below the 5 lines. You can continue go down, okay? You can actually put a note below that line. You can add a line and then put a note below that. That will be B, below middle C. And you can continue going down by adding more lines. So the next note comes on the second line you added, and that will be A, okay? And also, you can add lines upwards. Okay, so here we know the top space is E. The top space is E because F, A, C, E. And then above E we have F on the line. Above that line is G. And continue up, we have to add one line. That will be A on the first line added. And then above that line will be B. And then second line added will be C. Okay, that's how you figure it out. But more you see it, the quicker you're going to figure it out. Okay, and for the bass clef, same thing. We can add lines when we're out of space or lines to write. So here we have G on top, in the top space, G. Next one is A on the line. Above the line will be B, and then we have to add a line to continue, go up. So C will be on this added ledger line, and this will be D above the middle C, okay? The middle C is on the first added ledger line, and which is the same D as this treble clef D. So this D and this D are essentially the same key on the keyboard. Which one? This one, okay? Middle C, going up one step, that's the D for both treble and bass, okay? All right, so let's see if we can figure out a note, a line note in the bass clef, okay, just for practice. So bass clef, we remember F, A, C, E, and this note is still up there, so we gotta keep going up. So after E, it's F on the line, G in the space, the next one is A, okay? Which A is, oops, is this A, okay? If this is middle C, B, A, this one, okay? Let's practice one more, okay? So here we have the bass clef again, and starting with our face, F is below the line, and this is on the first line. So F going up one step to G. This is really quick, okay? But which G is this? You have to go quite low. I think it's out of the camera range here, but if I can tilt a little bit, it's this G, okay? Here's middle C, down one G, second G, okay? So I hope you kind of understand how the staff works. So I highly recommend you memorize the landmarks, FACE for the bass clef and FACE for the treble clef. That will help you in reading a lot. Okay, so have fun.